And this is
Danielle,
our special guest for today.
We are so excited to have you here today with us.
Thanks.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, and we have her here basically because she is a longtime friend of mine. We met in college, and we've been interacting now that I've been back home in Louisville, and I'm just so happy to have you as a friend and for you to be here. And I really wanted Danielle on because she has been sharing some funny, wild stories and just like about being single and just telling that she's been sharing them on TikTok, and I've been seeing them, and I'm like, you would just be a perfect guest for us to share some of these on the pod as well. And just I feel like what you're doing is really good because you're women should talk and share. Like, we have to share our stories about what's going on. So I just love that you share them, and I was like, girl, you need to be on. You need to be on.
Thanks. I'm honored you have me.
I hope you guys stick along for the end because there are going to be some very telling stories throughout today's episode.
They should make you laugh, hopefully.
Yes. So we're just going to get on in and get started. Well, do you want to tell them a little bit about yourself? Just a little bio.
So I'm Danielle. I make fun TikToks about how terrible today's dating world is. I took 4 years off from 2 real technical years off from dating, but haven't really dated in a good 4 years, you could say, because it's just been a terrible time. But it's been a big learning lesson, so I'd love to share what I've learned on TikTok, and can't wait to share with you all today on the podcast the craziness of it all.
It's time for another ad break. Thank you to our new sponsor, Mrs. Kisses. Mrs. Kisses is an innovative game changer in the world of bras. Imagine having a bra that's frontless, backless, and strapless, designed by a woman, for women, or just people with boobs. Mrs. Kisses is revolutionizing how we think about support and style, giving you freedom to wear what you want without compromise. And the best part, other than how amazing your cleavage can look, our TooDelulu listeners can get an exclusive deal. When you visit Mrs. Kisses and pick up any of their amazing kits and accessories, you can get 10% off. Just use our code TooDelulu at checkout. Think about the new possibilities. Oh, and just a little heads up, the only item that is not included in this offer is the Kelly kit. And that's for an incredible reason. Mrs. Kisses donates 15% of their sale from every Kelly kit to Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Talk about a purchase you can feel good about. So whether you're stepping out in a daring dress or styling that sleek tube top, Mrs. Kisses has got you covered. It's comfort, support, and style all in one without the hassle of traditional bras. Don't forget to use our special code TooDelulu to save 10% off your Mrs. Kisses purchase. Let's support this incredible women-owned business and revolutionize our wardrobe at the same time. Check them out, guys.
We went to Bachfest this weekend. For those of you that don't know what Bachfest is, it's like a baby goat racing thing, and then they also race adult goats. I don't know why we have it, honestly.
I don't know. There's some history behind it, I'm sure.
I'm 100% sure there is a history behind it.
And isn't the Bach the beer too?
Yeah, there's a Bach beer, and it's like a German festival in a sense, and then they host it downtown here in Louisville. I don't know, it was very interesting. This was my first year ever going. I didn't know it was a thing. I had no idea. And I ran into a couple people, and they ended up having front row passes to watch the end line of the baby goat races.
Because you couldn't see it.
Because you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
There's so many people, you couldn't see anything.
Did they have bleachers or anything down there?
They had bleachers, but everyone was standing on them.
Yeah, they closed the streets down. It's very it's like a street festival kind of thing where there's vendors and food and goats and cattle. It's so Kentucky. But it was really fun. But yeah, you got the pass, so you got to see the races. I didn't see any.
Yeah, I saw the last race of the baby goats. And then, funny enough, Miss Kentucky was there, and so I got a picture with her. No idea who she is, but
she's sweet.
You were
starstruck.
Actually,
saw her this morning. She was in the Derby show with me.
Heather posted her on her Instagram.
I posted her on my Instagram today.
She's really sweet.
I didn't tag her, and she was
starstruck.
She was bombarded with people taking pictures. Like, as soon as the goats were over, she picked up and held the goat, and it's like 4 or 5 people were waiting on the sidelines for her picture. And I was just lucky enough in the spot where she came through, so I actually got to stand next to her and take an actual picture instead of, like, over the fence.
Yeah, I heard Jack Harlow was out, too, but I didn't see him.
We did not spot him at all.
No, but I think that could have just been a rumor. I don't know. I don't believe it till I see it. Still haven't run into Jack. It's on my list of things to do.
Never. He does a kickball tournament every summer.
Where?
What field is that? The Louisville baseball field.
Oh, really?
I played with him last summer.
No, you
Why?
didn't.
Fact.
I love Louisville.
Fact. It's like a big charity kickball tournament. So like, what is it? Play the Homies come, and they're on a team with him, and then Elle Smith, the former Miss USA from here, came back to Louisville for it. So Miss Kentucky played. She was on the Lexington team. I was on the Louisville team with the McFarlands, if you've seen them on TikTok. Jack's team beat us, so we were out first round, but, it was still cool to get to watch and take a picture with them afterwards.
I had no idea the McFarlands were from Kentucky. Or are they from Louisville?
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Fact.
That's really, that just blew my mind.
I mean, I assumed so. They were on the Louisville team.
Yeah.
Watch me be saying all this and then be like, nope, they live in New York.
Oh, I mean, I have
I'm
no
pretty
idea.
sure they're here.
That's cool. I think there's a lot of famous people around town that we don't know about.
Just are they're
really
more quiet. Like, I had a good friend that I worked with this summer. Her grandparents live next door to Jennifer Lawrence's parents.
Oh, that's so neat.
I love J-Law.
So they come over all the time. Like, they have their backyards connect. So, like, they'll wander over and hang out with her grandparents.
That is so neat.
Oh, yeah.
Her mom did that dance, what was it? The ballroom dance competition I did last summer. And her
You had a lot of...
anybody from Louisville, I guess, that has, like, made something of themselves, I feel like I ran into at some point
That's
last year.
so
Had
cool.
some cool interaction with. Her mom is a Spitfire. Absolutely adore her. Like, watching her get out there and, like, do these cartwheels and, like, just be flipped and turned across the stage. It's like, that is my goal.
I love that.
Like, if I ever become a mom one day, I want to be able to still do
Oh,
stuff
that
like
is so you. That is so you. You will. You will.
I can only hope. We'll see where maybe skates get. That's been my new hobby. I've been learning how to skate.
Yes.
Again.
Roller skate?
Have you busted your butt yet?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
No, fortunately.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I have a bad feeling it's coming at some point.
So you have all your gear. She's literally got elbow pads, helmet, knee pads. You said, I am not getting hurt.
No.
You said, I use my hands every day. I am not getting hurt.
That's how I make my money, is how I can work my wrists. So I even have like little wrist guards too, but they're not too comfy to wear, and I actually feel like wearing them would break my wrist. So
are you finding any other local roller skaters in the area that want to join with you?
From that TikTok,
yeah,
and like people that I'm friends with that I had no idea.
Like, I feel like you'll be like in a roller skating group before you know it.
Somebody
just
asked
have like
me,
girls
you
going
want to
with
do the
you.
roller derby? It's like,
oh, that's intense.
Oh, no.
You'll get hurt.
So
that's where your wrists will get hurt.
This is what I heard. It's like wrestling on roller skates.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've seen it.
You lost me at the wrestling.
Yeah. Nah, you would. That's where you'll get hurt.
What do you roller skate at? Just around town on the street?
Yeah, when are we going to see you rolling down the street?
This street looks nice and flat out here.
Now you're assessing the sidewalks.
She's like, actually, that street could work really well for me.
So I don't like anything that has a lot of breaks in the sidewalk. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm like, this is where I'm going to go down and break everything I have. I like inside my house, but I only have like so much pathway. Like if we were in my house, I could maybe get from here to that door, and it's just like,
so you just go back and forth.
Just a back and forth. But I have things to catch me because I haven't figured out how to stop yet.
So if you need to hold on to the couch, you can hold on to the couch or something, or chair or whatever.
Crash into the desk. Cool, got it. So there's like a nice spot out in front of my apartment door, so I kind of just go back and forth, and the brakes and the concrete aren't super close together. And there's stairs, so I can like catch the railing on the stairs. Like I'm on the first floor, so they go up. So I can just like swing around the stairs and kind of catch myself. I went on a Segway tour once.
Oh.
And they gave us helmets with the mohawks on it. I was in San Francisco. So, very hilly area. And to like make the Segway go, you have to lean forward. And to make it stop, you have to lean back. So to lean back and go down those hills, you're like, I felt like I was parallel to the concrete. It's like, this is going to be the day I die because I can't make the thing stop. We got to like the worst part of the hill. Almost done with the whole tour. And I crashed into a parked car. like whole thing. Flying off the little Segway.
Oh
my gosh, I've never been on a Segway. See, I don't do things like that. I tell you, I keep my feet planted on the ground.
I've never done the Segways either.
That sounds terrifying. And our friend Jen yesterday crashed a bird scooter at the Bachfest.
No! She did?
Yes.
How bad?
She put a TikTok up today about how she crashed her scooter.
Maybe I should make one about the Segway.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Because as if like...
It's a good story time.
As if, crashing into a parked car in front of all these strangers. I went on the tour by myself, so there's all these strangers. Isn't bad enough. It was a Tesla.
No.
So they have video footage.
No. Maybe if you make the TikTok, they'll release the footage.
No.
They'll be like, oh, that was our car.
The car was okay.
I love it when TikToks connect like that.
Did they come out or anything when you boarded the car?
No. So the instructor guy ran up and he's like cursing under his breath, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So we stop, we assess the car. We're like,
were you okay?
Yeah, right? That was next. It was like, make sure the car is okay.
Make sure you're okay.
I'm okay.
No scratches on the car, no scratches on you.
I think I probably scuffed a hand or something, but it was nothing too crazy. It was freezing cold and raining, and we did it, so it was at least all bundled up like a marshmallow, but...
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't, You won't find me doing that, but I can't believe you did that alone. You didn't have a friend with you.
That's been one of my fun things in taking time off from dating is learning to go and do things on my own. I went to Thurby and Oaks last year on my own. That was a lot of fun. Just walked around, mixed and mingled, met different people throughout the day. I was actually ready to go to the Drake concert by myself. I just drove to Lexington from here and was sitting in the garage, didn't have a ticket. I'd paid the $30 to park, didn't have a ticket. The concert started 30 minutes ago. It's I guess I'm going to go by myself. And fortunately, right at that time, a friend of mine texted me and was like, I saw you talking about tickets on Facebook. Where are you going? So I wound up having a buddy to come with me. But, I mean, I think life is short. You have to go and experience it. And if it means going to a Drake concert alone, then...
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't like doing things alone. Normally I'll go out and get food to go, and then normally while I'm waiting I'll sit there at the bar and I'll have a drink, and then I'll get my food and then I'll go home and hide in my dungeon.
I like that too, though.
I think when you're single though, it is good to do things on your own. I went to an event yesterday. It was good to go by myself. It puts you out of your shell a little bit, because I get a little antisocial or a little socially awkward, I'd say.
I feel that.
Usually, but you just get out there and you try to meet new people and get yourself out there. It's good, especially when you're single, I think. Then you can meet more people. I don't know. I absolutely love the idea of getting out there and doing things on your own. But when did you kind of change to that mode of, I want to work on this, and get back out there?
I haven't always been this way. What was it, 2 years ago when Jack Harlow's latest album dropped? When Drake was on the Churchill Downs song, I knew this man was coming to Derby. And with everything, my birthday's always around Derby time too. So going to Derby is top of my list every year. But then to see that, I was like, I have to go. I have to get close to this man.
Is Drake your celebrity crush?
Big time. How'd you know? Listen.
I'll take Jack and you take Drake.
Deal.
You can have both. That man, Drake, is a liar. I have beef with that man.
Why?
Because
How can you have beef with Drake?
I went to UK.
Her personal beef.
Oh yeah, it's personal beef towards Drake. But I went to UK and Drake would always come to the basketball games. So I was at one of the basketball games and he came down in the middle of Rep Arena and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna put on a free concert for all my students to go to school here. Concert never happened. Liar.
So Heather, now her celebrity, we went on a tangent about the celebrities we don't like for a stupid reason, just someone you can't stand. That everyone else likes, mine is Taylor Swift. Hers is also sometimes Taylor Swift, but also Drake, and that's what I found out, that Heather has personal beef with Drake.
Personal beef with
That
Drake.
is very personal. Maybe the concert will still happen.
I'm already graduated. How does it count now?
Were you by chance a pandemic grad?
No.
Dang. I've really tried.
No, you can't save that personal beef in any way. He did it to himself.
Well, anywho, she likes him.
Oh my gosh, I love him.
And so when you found out he was going to be at Churchill Downs,
I was like, I have to go. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to go, and it never fails. I don't my friend group is not about Derby the way I am, and I think I'm about Derby the way I am because it's at my birthday.
Me too.
Okay, we have a new Derby buddy.
Derby is my favorite holiday. I love dressing up. I love the hats. And nobody else seems to like it as much as me.
I like it. I'm just too broke to pay to go.
So that's the other hiccup.
The problem.
That is the other hiccup.
It is a financial burden.
I would go. I want to go, and it's always, everyone's like, oh, are you going to go to Derby? Are you going to go to Oaks? Are you going to go to this? And it's like, I would love to go, but I don't have $400 to buy a ticket just to be able to stand.
Oh, there's $700 this year.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
See, other people go with their jobs and stuff. Like, a lot of people get in, like, for, like,
this is what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, like,
how can I get in?
The corporate companies buy, like, the seats or the boxes for and, like, do, like, a company outing. So a lot of people get to go in that way. People know someone who knows someone who gets them a nice ticket. Like, that's how Louisville is.
I don't even need a nice ticket. I don't need a nice one. I would just like one to be able to go.
To sit and not be in GA.
And watch. Oh, yeah. And that's why I like Keeneland so much more. Have you ever been to Keeneland up in Lexington? I like Keeneland so much more because it's a cheap ticket to get in. They have so many free seating spots. You don't even need a box. Why don't we have that at Churchill?
Well, I think during the year they do, but when it's Derby season, it's expensive.
Like Derby is pretty cheap, and then
Derby is the one that I usually do. Yeah, 50 Tuesday is cheap. I did Derby last year and then did a Derby party Saturday.
Yeah,
oh that's fun.
So like I can track and house parties are fun.
I'd like to go on Tuesday. I haven't been to 502 Tuesday before.
I think that would be a lot of fun to go. I haven't been yet either. Wednesday is like some kind of corporate day. I feel
it's
like
Champions Day is Wednesday.
Okay. Yes.
Every day of the week, we can do something fun with Derby, which I love. But anywho,
it's like a fashion
show.
So
back to your story.
Oh, yes.
We get sidetracked. I'm sorry.
I mean, hey, listen, I'm right there with you. There's so much to talk about.
We spiral.
We do.
I love it though.
It's TooDelulu. What else do you expect?
May all your Delulu come true.
Yes.
Tululu. How do they say?
Tululu.
Tululu. I like that
better.
better.
Hit the double Lulu.
Tululu.
So you love Derby.
I love Derby. So I woke up that morning like still begging all my friends, somebody please come with me. I don't care if we get an infield ticket at this point. This is just all I want to do for my birthday. Even though I knew I was supposed to be out of town with my family that evening to celebrate my birthday, and like I hadn't quite yet figured out how the timelines were going to work for me to be everywhere I wanted to be. But I ended up just not going because I didn't want to go by myself. What first got me was that I had said all year, it's like, I'm going to place a lot of money on the horse with the worst odds. I said it all year long. And then couldn't get the app to download come like time to bed, was spazzing over it, had suddenly forgot everything I said within a 10-minute span, placed my money on the horse I genuinely thought stood a chance to win. Oh, not okay. Was not okay. Because that was the year Rich Strike won.
Yep.
And then that was I don't know if you've like heard the story behind it. He wasn't even supposed to be in Derby. Like so then to hear his whole story of how he got to actually run in the race.
Then win.
And if I had known that, I would have put double my money on him. I would be just breaking it in right now.
I've never bet on a horse. I don't do it. I've never gotten into it. I can't. I get nervous.
Physically ill.
Yeah. See, look, that's what I would get too involved, too invested.
Like I kid you not, couldn't talk about Derby for weeks. And then as you know, we're watching Derby on the TV. There's Drake and Jack Harlow.
Yeah, I did see them.
Like, oh,
she did.
I have a video of it. I'll insert
Amazing.
clip. So this is day 2 of trying to find Jack Harlow in Louisville. I'm at Derby, so very likely he's going to be here. If not, I know that Drake is here. So if I find either one, I'll be fine.
That was easy.
Because didn't they have some kind of like box room that was over the infield?
Yes,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
I literally,
I was like, and I wanted the infield ticket.
we bum rushed and just waving at them. It was pretty cool, but I won't talk how great it was.
I'll be okay.
I don't want to hurt you.
I've come far enough.
She's accepted the fate.
It's not like we got to meet and greet, but you did get to see them and wave, and they didn't, like, they're yelling down to us, like, hey, happy Derby, just like, but it was a lot of people, so they would have, it's not like they knew me, like they didn't see me, but I did know, like, at least 10 people who went to the after party.
See, and I had nobody that wanted to go with me, and I'd only heard rumors of where I needed to be, and I just couldn't get myself to do it. So, I mean, I sat pretty butthurt with myself for a couple weeks. So that was a moment I realized it's time to like just put myself out there
and be able to do things.
Because I mean, I was miserable.
Yeah.
You can't always rely on like someone to come with you 24/7.
Yeah, and when you're single, you really realize that too, because you don't just have that immediate buddy, right? Like your boyfriend. Oh, do you want to go to the grocery? Boom, come with me. It's like especially if you all live together, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, what? Yeah, you can't always rely on your friends to do it because they have their own lives as well, and they are not your partners; they are your friends. So it is like you have to get comfortable with doing it on your own, or you're going to be sitting at home and wishing that you were at an event.
Sick, literally.
And see, if you would have went, you could have ran into Bree.
Yes,
no,
I was there.
Such a grand time.
And I like made a TikTok that day. I was like, all right, I'm gonna see Jack today, and then I just cut to, well, that was easy, and it's like zoomed in on him. But I don't care about Drake. Sorry, I'm a Jack girl.
I love his music.
Absolutely.
Have personal beef.
I mean, that's very understandable. I went to the Bell Awards last year, and the gentleman I was sitting with, when he asked me my favorite musician, and when I told him Drake, something came over me. I was like, I just feel like this conversation's not going to go well. I'm going to hear about how like rap music, you shouldn't listen to it, this, that, and the other. He's like, oh really? What you know about Drake? Let me tell you about that man. I was like, here we go. Here it goes. He's like, that man is one of the nicest men I've ever met before in my life. It's like, really? Tell me more. And he's like, I guess when he came for Derby, one of the restaurants he went to made sure like everybody was tipped him very well, like took care of everybody working, said he's just such a charitable man, he's so genuine, so kind. It's like, I know we're just made for each other.
Yes. Well, and what is his connection with Kentucky? Is it just that he likes UK?
Okay, so this was the cool thing.
Because like, why, what's up with that?
So he had dropped out of high school pursuing his career, and then eventually went back to like get his credits and officially graduate. And Calipari came to his graduation and showed up for him. I guess when like a bunch of people that he thought would be there weren't there for him. So he
has a huge connection to. Was he the coach?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, not a sports girl,
oh,
but I do recognize the name. I'm like, he's got to be the coach.
I think he's been like in the news lately about whether or not he's, I guess, staying with. I'm not a big sports fan either, but I have friends that are, so I see it every now and then.
They've been talking about whether they're going to buy him out of his contract, because Calipari's contract right now is like $32 million to get him out of it. And UK's deciding, should we just buy him out and get us a new coach and whatever. And it's all of the guys always say, they're like, he's a great recruiter. He can recruit the best players, but when it comes to putting them on the court, it never falls where it's supposed to. So.
No idea.
Yeah,
I can't share my thoughts because they're not valid.
That's about all I know.
Yeah, but I'm sure those guys that you're talking about, they know.
They know everything. They know everything of the sports ball.
Sports ball.
Yeah, we love sports ball.
We love sports ball. I do like sports ball. I keep up with it pretty well.
I don't know much about sports.
No, I
just hope both teams have fun.
Tennis.
Oh, that's good. I hear a tennis court is a great place to practice roller skating.
Oh, yeah.
I have one in my apartment.
No way.
Yeah, me and my roommate want to start playing tennis again. So, and I'm gonna try to get my boyfriend to do doubles.
I'll just come skate around.
I want to do pickleball. I don't know. I don't like tennis.
Yeah. Why have I heard so many people talk about pickleball?
Pickleball. I'm sorry. It's a white people trend. That's what I have to say. It is such a white people trend. Y'all are all about the pickleball.
It's so fun because you get your little paddle and the ball, like it goes dink, dink, dink up.
That's
and over.
tennis.
No, it's not.
But what I've heard is that you don't have to run for
you don't run as much as pickleball.
It's a smaller court tennis.
So
it's almost
smaller.
like what is it, like ping pong mixed with tennis kind of.
Yeah, you can play it on a tennis court. Like most tennis courts have the pickleball lines, and if you have two people, like you have one little square, they have another little square, and then you just dink it back and forth. You're like dink, 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 dink. Just get your dink on.
Get your dink on.
I'm gonna put that on a shirt for you.
Good, I need it on a shirt.
Get your dink on. Okay.
Get your dink on.
This episode of TooDelulu is brought to you by Eargasm Earplugs. Eargasm solved the problem that foam earplugs had, which was muffling the sound of your music at music festivals and concerts. You can actually hear the music still while protecting your ears when you use Eargasm's high-fidelity earplugs. They are an awesome company that I'm so happy is sponsoring us. You can find them on their website, eargasm.com, and you can save 15% at checkout using code TooDelulu. Again, that's code TooDelulu. TooDelulu at checkout to save 15% at Eargasm earplugs so you can protect your ears, still hear the sound of the music that you love, and it's just altogether an amazing product. Check it out, guys. With social media, you do it.
I have a fun one going. It started going viral this morning. What is it? It's that, I think it's like a Madison Beer song, and everybody's yes, and everyone's like, I would do this trend if I wasn't a mom. I think we've all been gaslight. There is no trend to it. Like, the trend is saying if I wasn't a mom. So I did it, and then turned around and like showed my cat. Like, obviously,
I'll insert it in so people can see it.
I wanna feel, wanna taste, wanna get you going.
Is it this one?
Yeah, like
87,000
when I woke up
views.
this morning, it had 6,000.
That's what it is though about TikTok. It's the ones that you don't try, and those are the ones that go viral, and you're like, I work so hard on some of these other things, and then I do this silly, goofy one, and those are the ones that go viral. It's very annoying to me. I'm like, oh, okay.
that one I posted, you saw the about the Snap story, the welcome to the roster. Mm-hmm. I was laying in bed, and I don't know what came over me. It was like, I have to make a TikTok to that sound, and I have to talk about that one time. It was really petty, and I did that. And I mean, like, as soon as I posted it, just...
Well, you have to tell us about
like
it because I don't think Heather has seen it. So you gotta give us the story, and the viewers might not have seen it either. Our little Delulu's out there.
Welcome
this is hilarious. Yes, now this is spilling the real tea.
So it used to be a little petty.
We've all been there.
We've all had our phases. I'm so glad, like, I've grown. This actually was like a couple years ago. I've just been casually dating since like my last serious relationship, and this was when I realized, okay, I have to take a break. Like, I gotta work on me. Mm-hmm. I can't keep doing this, and man was just something else to deal with. So I was over it, ready to grow. And let's see, so he and I had matched on a dating app. It was gonna be like a long distance kind of thing, which I was okay with. Like, distance doesn't bother me. And then we like went on a couple of dates. He seemed super serious, would talk about like a future together. I was like, oh, like he's really about me. Okay,
yeah,
like,
this sounds good.
Yeah, I was like, love bomb me? Like,
I know people
of course
are like,
I love it.
people are like, toxic people love bombing, so it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, thank you.
Like, here I am thinking this man is so into me, like, not catching on to the fact I'm just being love bombed all the time.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the difference
sometimes.
sometimes.
I love that.
Yeah, I was like,
you want to be crazy about me? Sure, I'll be crazy about you too.
Exactly. I'll match the energy.
Yeah. But when he started to like backtrack on things he had said and was like, you're insane, we've only been on a couple of dates, I would have never been that serious about it. It just really like struck a nerve in me. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be made out to be the crazy person. Like, you are not going to sit here and gaslight me on this. And then I don't know what came over me. I just got so, instead of just walking away and being done like I would do now, it's like, you know what?
I'm going to continue.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll one-up you. So I made a private Snapchat story, and I titled it, Welcome to the Roster.
It's so good. This is so good.
I only had him in it. And I would, like, post some of my best selfies in there and be like, I'm bored. Who's free this weekend?
So he thinks
there's
a bunch of guys on the roster in this.
And okay, so my top asked question on TikTok about it was, can people tell who's in the private story? And they can't.
No.
Like, even to this day, you can't tell who's in a private story. So I had no clue how many people were there. A few people, too, were like, well, wouldn't he think you're easy? Or, like, you know, what would he think about you? Like, I don't really care. This one man, there's a reason it was a private story. I don't care what he thinks. Let him run with whatever.
Yeah, who cares what he thinks? Like, you know it's a prank.
Right.
Like, it's a joke to get back at him for his BS.
Wait, did he ever comment on any of the photos?
No, of course not.
He went silent.
He was smart, and I think he knew what I was doing, so he wasn't gonna like let it show that it got to him. So I added in some of my friends just so they could be along for the giggles of it all and just see what I was up to. Things did just kind of like start to dissipate, but he would try to come back every couple weeks, and I don't know, we had words with each other and we called it a day. And he tried to, spin everything. Was like, see, you're so mature, so I could never be with someone like you. It's like, great.
Great, I can't be with a mature person. I want to be with someone that's immature that I have to take care of.
Absolutely. Like, I love when you go back and forth and tell me one day you see a future with me and the next day that I'm crazy and that could have never come out your mouth.
What is up with that? Like, why do men do that?
I would love to know.
Like, I don't understand the psychology behind that, like, of
gaslighting someone, thinking like they're the ones saying all these things, and they're like, I love you, I want to be with you, like I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, have kids, yada yada yada.
And
then you say one comment about it, and he's like, what are you talking about? Like, I've never said any of those things. Why are you doing that?
Oh my gosh. And then you get that, you're forcing me into this. I don't want to be into it.
It's nuts. It's like there has to be some kind of deeper psychology to why that happens. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like kind of like it's manipulation, obviously.
Yes.
But it's I don't know. I think it's so nasty. I think it's so nasty to do.
I don't get why they do that.
And then it makes us have trust issues, and then we do look crazy. Like, like now I don't trust.
Right. Because I am crazy now.
Because you have made me nuts.
I know. I feel like I can be so reserved. Like, even now trying to date, I'm like cool, calm, collected, reserved. Like, not going to seem too invested. You're not going to make this out like I'm pressuring you things. You're not going to make me out like I'm crazy. But then, you know, at the same time, like, I do want to just be able to, like, open up to people and say, like, this is who I am. Like, if you text me, I'm probably going to send you, like, 5 text bubbles back. You might get them back immediately, too. Like, I don't want to, like, have to hold myself back just to make somebody else think.
It's the whole thought process of it. Like, I always get so in my head when it comes to texting a boy back. And you're like, oh, they texted me back. Okay, should I wait like an hour? And then you wait an hour and then you text them back and then they don't text you back for 2 days. And you're like, well, did I wait too long?
Right.
Should I have just texted them immediately?
Should I have waited 2 days?
Should I have waited? Yeah, it's like, it's such a head game that everyone, I feel like, it's so sucked into. And it's like, just say what you want to say. You know, it just makes life so much easier.
But it is, unfortunately, I believe it is a game. It is. That's how I've been, worn down by the dating situation, is that I just have figured it is a game now. Like, you have to play the game. You have to, at least in my view, it's like, I'm not going to, even though I am a quick texter to my friends, but they're my friends. I trust them. They trust me. I don't really know you yet. I don't have to respond to you yet. I'll wait a day. Right. I'll wait 2 days. And there's something about the chase that guys like, get on all these TikToks for dating gurus or whatever, and they're like, oh, it's like you're a deer and they're a hunter, and men don't want the deer to just, die in front of them. They want to hunt the deer. So it's like you can't give them everything right away. Like, you have to let them chase you. And it's like, but that's not how I am as a person. So how am I supposed to do that?
It's like setting up a false pretense.
Right. Exactly. And it's like, do you want to trick somebody into that? And like pretend that you're letting them chase you? I don't know. I don't know what the right way to go about it is, but I'm single, so don't ask me.
How long does the chase go? I mean, how long does the chase go? How long do you keep doing this? Is it only for like a week? Is it 2 weeks? What about when you start dating? Then you keep chasing? Like, when does the chase stop?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I kind of put a rule, at least like ongoing on a date with somebody. Like, if we can't keep a conversation over text, if you've never FaceTimed me, like, I don't know you're a real person. If we've just not really caught like an actual vibe, I'm not going on a date with you. I'm not going to go sit. If you're asking me what I'm doing every 5 minutes because we can't keep a conversation going, I'm not going on a date with you. And I hate when a guy will come out to you on a dating app straight out the gate and be like, I would love to get to know you better over drinks and dinner. It's like, that's very sweet. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like, are you a real person?
Yeah.
Why don't you send like a couple texts back getting to know me?
Yes.
And there is some danger there too, is something bad going to happen if I just show up? Like, I always get weird about meeting people on first dates and stuff because there's so many horror stories out there, but I'm a true crime junkie, so I always think of the worst. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe I need to, vet you a little bit, find your social media, look at your tagged photos, make sure you're a real person,
that's huge.
Like, and then I would go. But I haven't gone on a date in a while, so.
I always say for dates, you should have like your friends go and sit at a separate table.
I love that idea.
And then like you're at that table and they're like secretly watching you. So then there is no way of you getting kidnapped, or like if it goes bad, you can like dip out quietly and then everyone just gets up and everyone leaves.
I feel like I would burst out laughing though. I wouldn't be able to like control myself to just see them.
Your friends would be looking at you.
Yes,
I'd be making you laugh. I
would
be like,
my friends are terrible. I'll at least send them like a social media account and be like, if I get killed tonight, this is who I'm with, this is who did it, by the way, this is where we're going, here's my location.
So basically I saw Danielle's TikToks about dating and stuff, and I was like, that you would be perfect to be a guest on, because the stories that you've told and your story of like being single for what, 4 years?
It took, actually, yes. Okay, so good point. So My last, like, real relationship ended right at the beginning of 2021. And I did some casual dating, and then the first man that I, like, finally hard launched, I kid you not, that day I got a little "hey girly" text, so that was to the curb. Like, I hard launched him, and then we had decided, like, he was going to come with me on a trip I was taking to Mexico. He was, like, so ready to come with me, bought his flight ticket, got a "hey girly" text. It's like,
hey girly, I'm not into this anymore.
No, a "hey girly." By the way, I've been seeing him too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's like a
That's the new.
Yeah, it's like a term. Like if you get the "hey girly," it's a girl coming out and letting you know that your man's been with her too.
I was like, well, I will have fun in Mexico. I don't know what you're gonna do, but.
So you didn't let him go. So
no,
yeah, well,
I went by myself.
Listen, that is very strong of you, but some women, some of my own friends would probably have just been like, well, the trip's already booked.
Well, I was already going with like some girlfriends, and I had a room to myself.
Okay.
Like they were all taking their sisters, so he was crashing in on my trip. But I was like, I'd already planned to kind of have just a girls' trip anyway, so I'll be fine without him. But I will say, I was just so butthurt the whole time. I was like, you were supposed to be here. Like,
you've ruined it.
Yeah, really. I was like, I'm just here fifth wheeling.
Were you able? Not the fifth wheel.
It really wasn't that way. Like, we all meshed well together, so it was fine. But like at night when dinner was done, and I would just come back to my hotel room alone. It's like.
Yeah, the night. I think that's what it is. The nights can be hard sometimes. Like
when you come back alone.
Like right when you're first single, those first couple nights. Like I lived with my ex-boyfriend, and we lived in the same apartment, but we had 2 separate bedrooms when we broke up, and we were in the same apartment for 6 months, broken up. But I will say, like when you're in that bed alone, it's like, dang, he is right over there. Like,
well, I remember when I first moved here, like I was all by myself. I'd be calling Bree and be like, I'm lonely.
Yes, nighttime, it gets hard after work because you can keep yourself busy, distracted, whatever, and then sometimes when the silence hits and, you're sitting alone, it can just be like, man.
Yeah.
I need a hug today.
Yeah,
I think everyone needs a hug every, it's like you're supposed to get a hug daily or something.
I think that's why I call my mom like every day. I got to the point I had to stop myself. I was like, she's gonna get so annoyed with me.
I actually saw one of your your story times first off are just so good. You should have your own podcast, honestly, because you are great at storytelling.
Funny you say that. My dad left me a microphone when he passed. He and his buddy were gonna start a podcast, and he's like, he never did anything with it, so it's yours. You should do something with it. So, I don't know, for you to say that, it feels like...
Oh, I love moments like
that.
I'm
supposed to.
I think you should. You're a great storyteller,
Thank you.
and your stories are unfortunately hilarious.
I mean, you have to laugh at it, right? Like, you can't sit there and be mad about it.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can't be mad about what goes on, so it's like, you might as well laugh.
I feel like people take life too seriously sometimes, and so, for me, one thing I've struggled with is, like, your stereotypical abandonment issues. So I'm like, okay, I have to learn to like roll with this and not get too upset. So this has kind of been therapeutic.
Oh, I'm curious if she
laugh.
has an anxious attachment style.
Yes, so that's something that we did on one of our episodes. We took a test to see what attachment styles we had and how they affect what kind of relationships you have. So I am an anxious attachment style, probably because I have a little bit of abandonment issues from my father not being around and passing away as well. So I definitely was like, this makes sense for me in a way.
Yeah.
Hers used to be something, but then once you got in a relationship, it became secure.
Yeah, like mine. Yeah, I think before I was more like an anxious attachment style. So, but when I started dating again, after like a 4-year relationship and like living with my ex and all that, going back out there was very hard. And I get so anxious, and then I try to attach myself way too quickly. And then it tends to scare a lot of people off because then I turn into a psycho lunatic person. Emphasis on the podcast of TooDelulu because I'm literally the most delusional person in the world. But then when I got into a solid relationship, it turned into a secure attachment style.
Which I think means she's with the right person. Who I think that has a lot to do with it because they say people who are anxious attachment usually are attracted more to people with avoidant attachment because it's feeding the cycle of anxiety. Because if someone is not giving you the security that you need, you continue to be anxious, but that's probably because that's what you grew up with is anxiety. So yeah, it's like a habit that I'm trying to break in myself. The next guy that I'm with, I don't want to be an avoidant guy, but I can look back at all of my previous relationships and they're all the same like archetype of man. So
interesting. I'm gonna have to take this test now.
Yeah, you should.
We can send it to you.
Yeah, and we can share your results. Yeah.
It's now time for your ASMR ad break. This episode of TooDelulu is brought to you by Awkward Essentials. Awkward Essentials is bringing women's crotch care to the mainstream. Head over to their website, awkwardessentials.com, to browse through their amazing hygienic products like the Drip Stick, the world's first after-sex cleanup sponge, the mainstream so you can easily use a public restroom without having to sit on the seat, and their first timer kit. At checkout, use code TooDelulu to save 15% off at Awkward Essentials. Again, that's code TOODELULU at checkout to save 15% off at Awkward Essentials.
One of the stories, though, that I think is crazy is something that you found out through your hyper snooping skills, which I will say might be TooDelulu, if you ask me.
Oh, that's delusional.
No, I call it a sixth sense.
So,
because I just knew that day. So okay, let me back up.
Back it up. Tell everyone the story.
So first off, I've been in this phase. So trying to put myself back out there with dating. I know dating apps are really not the way to go, but I'm like,
they make it easy.
They do. I'm like, just to put myself out there. You know, I'm gonna just get on the dating apps. Okay, well, I'm a vegetarian. They make a dating app for vegetarians and vegans.
No way.
What's it called?
Vegly.
Vegly.
Of course.
Never heard of this. This is just killing me. They have a dating app for everyone.
They have a dating
really
app
do.
for single parents now.
I love that.
Oh, I do too, actually. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Aww.
But Vegly.
So you're looking for single cat moms looking for their cat daddy?
Please, I need that too.
Oh,
Should we start?
No. Oh, no.
Cat daddy, what is it? Cat daddy RS. Cat parents RS.
Cat daddy
get
seeking.
Where's my cat daddy?
Where's my cat daddy? So you started getting on Vegly,
yes,
which
so
I cannot believe is real and that this is not, you're not trolling us right now.
So I won't do Tinder. I feel like Tinder is just hookups.
X.
So Tinder has an X for me. So this was all I got on. All I really have like the energy to put effort into at this point.
Is there a lot of people on this?
Yeah, what are your
I
options?
mean, yes, but no. Like, to find someone that I, like, so dating apps, essentially you have to be physically attracted to them first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
you don't
the
really
whole
get
idea,
to know them.
right?
Yep. So, to find somebody that I'm, like, physically attracted to has not been the easiest. Kind of surprised me. I don't know why. I think, too, where we live. Like, if I lived somewhere, like, Cincinnati, somewhere, I don't know, where it's a little more common to see a vegetarian or a vegan. So I've hit this phase where a man will set a date up with me, and then, like, the day before, a couple of days before, we'll end up canceling it, and we don't go. I don't know why. Whatever.
It's happened to all of us. It's happened to everyone. But it makes you feel like crap.
Yes, and it's been such a streamline of it. Like, I had one guy that, like, had called me on the phone. We had, like, this full conversation. I thought we got along great. Super weird the next day. The day after that, canceled the date. I don't know.
Why?
Right. I was like, we had a great phone conversation.
I think they get scared. Like, it's like, oh, this could be really good. So, like, I don't know. That's my that's me trying to psychoanalyze it. Yeah, but, like, they just get scared.
Okay. I think that's, like, a great way to look at it.
They're like, oh, she was so great, and this could mean something, and I'm not actually ready for commitment, even though I thought I was. So then I tuck my tail under and run, you know? I don't know, because it's happened to me. When I was dating again in Tampa, I had, I think, 3 guys in a row do that as well. And I'm just like, then I get all inside, and, you get
so insecure
about
it.
I'm like, is something wrong with me? Like, did I say something wrong? Or like, and then you start I get all in my self-esteem issues go low, and I'm like, am I ugly?
And then you start, scrolling through the messages, and you're like, what did I say that was weird? What was wrong? Like, where can I fix it? And then you look back and you're like, okay, these are just normal conversations. Yep. So maybe they're not
That's what
ready.
I think it is.
I always think I think guys put themselves out there mainly because they want a quick hookup, and they're like, oh, if all that I have to do is take her to dinner, maybe I'll get lucky, and then I get my one quick hookup, or I get even more lucky to where I don't have to take her anywhere, and I just meet her out. But I think they get so into it, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna go do this, see what I can get, and then they actually start liking the person. And they're like, okay, how can I avoid this as fast as possible? Like, oh yeah, I'll just cancel every single time, so then I don't have to talk to you anymore.
Ghost.
Or ghost.
You had these guys from Vegly, sorry.
Okay.
These could not be normal people, first of all.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining the kind of guys that are.
Most guys I've met have come from Hinge. Vegly has not been it for me.
You should just go to the farmer's market at this point.
You know, so that's been one thing I've tried to do. I'm like, where would vegetarians or vegans hang out? Like, I don't mind to date somebody who's not, but
it makes it easier.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's my other thing too. Like, if you're holding up a dead deer in your
You're
profile,
not my guy.
like,
you're not my guy.
I don't like. It's very clearly in my hinge. Like, I'm vegetarian. What part of this did you think was gonna work?
Yeah.
My shirt says, "Don't eat the homies." So we had like planned for a date. I actually had to reschedule because I found out my brother was leaving for the military, and we only like. We literally had single-digit days before he left. It's like, we're like going to go out of state. Yeah, I was like, we're traveling out of state. I won't even be here to go on a date with you. So he was cool about it. We rescheduled. I literally almost wondered, though, if he was being petty and took it out on me. To the day of our date, I don't know why. I just had this sixth sense. It's like, we're not going on this date today.
You gotta trust it. It's a real thing. I swear. You're in tune.
And I feel like mine is very strong. I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't understand it, but I don't know.
It's a strong feeling.
So you literally thought that day, I'm probably like this, like even though it's planned, he hadn't said anything yet, but you had a feeling like, this date's not happening.
No.
Wow.
And I can't remember what I had to do that day, but when I wrapped it up, he had texted me and was like, he lived like an hour away. So he's like, okay, this is the time I'm going to leave. Do you want me to pick you up? Do you want me to meet you there? I don't know this man, so I'm going to meet him there. But he's like, picked the restaurant, done all the things. At the time he's supposed to be leaving, he has an hour to drive. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and throw myself together. Kid you not, the second I sit down, like the clock strikes the time he's supposed to leave, I get a text like, hey, sorry, I'm not going to make it. I got into a wreck. I'm like, that's like very oddly coincidental.
It's so convenient for you, sir.
Right, and like at the same time you're supposed to be walking out the door, you're in a wreck, which is just way too oddly coincidental for me. So, whatever. I already know the whole game. Like, this is the thing, with my time off, I'm like so obvious to everything now. Like, I see the patterns, I see the same excuses time in and time out. I'm like, I already knew what was happening.
You see it coming.
Yeah, from a mile away. The brightest red flag you could ever see from a mile away. Sometimes I really like them. But no, I can like in these little situations though I can really see.
And those ones are annoying.
Those ones are very annoying. So I end up like going to hang out with a friend instead, and while I'm out with her, he's like telling me about this wreck he's been in. And I don't know, I have a decent knowledge of cars, so already like the things he's telling me aren't adding up.
You're like, this doesn't make any sense.
Right. I'm like, if you got hit this way, why is this side of your car messed? Like, it's, I'm like, that one for one isn't obvious, but the things you're telling me that are wrong with your car wouldn't be on that side of the car. So, okay, it's a little weird. So then he sends me a picture of the car, and I'm like, I'm gonna shut my mouth. This man was serious.
Yeah, you were like, all right,
we got a picture.
This is true.
But it was a fake picture.
You see, so it just didn't sit right with me.
Because you didn't know what kind of car he was driving.
Right, and like I've followed him on Instagram, and I see lots of different cars on his Instagram, so I don't know which one is his.
Okay.
I've seen this one on his Instagram, so I'm like, obvious. Okay, I can at least connect it, but it doesn't sit right with me. So I like reverse image search it in Google. Nothing pops up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let it go. Like,
step one.
This man's telling the truth.
Reverse image Google search.
Yes, but it's still weird to me though. Like, why are we not talking about when we can go on a date?
Mm-hmm. Like, when's the next one going to be?
Right. Yes. That's usually what if someone really wants to hang out with you, even if it's a friend, if they can't come one day, they say, hey, I can't do it now, but can we plan for something later?
Yeah.
Right.
That's like a normal thing if you actually want to see somebody.
Right. So that's what kind of got me. So like this, so thinking about that and this image, I'm like, it's just not sitting right with me. People send me pictures, they automatically save to my camera roll. But I also knew that I could save the image to my camera roll because I've checked some details on some other pictures I've gotten before just to see, what's going on. So it's already in my camera roll, but I save it anyway. And when I open up my camera roll and the picture pops up, it's got the date on it. It's from 2022. This car wreck image.
So did you know you could do this? Like, did you know? Because she taught me this. I didn't know this. So from her TikTok, I was like, oh my gosh, if you save someone's photo to your camera roll, you can see
the
date that the picture was taken on their phone.
Which phone they took it on, what the camera settings on the phone were. You can tell everything.
Super sleuth.
Literally. Wow. Because I went on a date beforehand with a different guy, and I did it because I was pretty sure he had a secret wife at home and was texting me from a texting app. because I called him, and when it went to voicemail, it was weird. So the picture he sent that we had like taken together on the date, I was checking to see like, is this the iPhone you say there that I saw that you have, or like what's going on here with the picture? But didn't come up as a texting app. So, but yes, you can tell all sorts of fun details about it with your iPhone updates.
Yeah,
So
iPhone doesn't let you hide anything now.
No,
which
is good.
I think a woman's in the making all these features for us.
There's gotta
at
be.
Apple. She's like,
whoever you are, we love
bless you, bless you.
We love you.
A woman programmer at Apple. She's just driving all these updates. You know,
yeah.
I just love to think that that's what's happening over there.
I know, I hadn't thought about that, but now that you say it, I think that's exactly what it is. 100%. So I let him keep going on about the date, and I think I actually like made the TikTok before I even called him out and posted it. Oh my god. He doesn't have TikTok, so I knew I was
He's so
good.
bold, though. That's so funny. He said, before I tell him that I know that this is, you're lying, literally lying, he sends you an old car crash photo. That's just, first off, that's wrong. That's so wrong. Like,
you could have just said you don't want to drive.
Yes.
You don't want to go. Like
it's anything.
To make up an accident, that's really messed up. I think that's bad karma. I wouldn't want to put that out there.
Exactly.
Like, that's messed up.
I could never.
But you said, I'm going to make a TikTok real quick, then I'll confront him.
Well, I was just going to kind of like leave it alone and see if he picked up conversation. And I didn't hear from him for the rest of the evening until like midnight. So, red flag again. And I don't know, the next morning I woke up and to see all the comments coming in, I was like, I'm going to choose violence today. It's like, I've just been like so cool, calm, collected. And I was like, I feel like a lot of people have walked over me in the last couple years, and I've kind of just at times had to let people. So I was like, you know what? Let me just have my moment. Okay. You picked the wrong one today. And today I was cool, calm, and mannered about it. He said something about like, you know, the insurance will take care of it, blah blah blah. My neck's sore.
God, he made up so many lies.
Literally, I was like, bro, that's crazy. You've had a bad neck since, and I like put the date in from the picture. It was like radio silence all day. So
wait, so he never answered?
Well, I thought he never would. But finally, later that night, he was like, you know, you're right. Like, I really screwed up. Honestly, the reason I canceled is more embarrassing than this. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that.
You're like, wow, you could have just started with that.
Literally.
Like, you could have rescheduled. It wouldn't have hurt my feelings if you had like actually rescheduled and not done the, hey, we need to I had a guy recently like, hey, we need to reschedule, and I was like, okay, that works with me.
When?
I think last week, 2 weeks ago.
And you're just like, when are we rescheduling too? You're like, when?
Right. And that's my other thing too. So if they say we need to reschedule, I will not ask. Like, you have to tell me when. If you say we need to reschedule, okay, we can do that.
So that's a strategy
now,
right
you tell
there.
me when.
I like that strategy.
This is how I'm gonna know. Like, are you for real about it, or are you just playing games with me?
I'm glad you deep dove though into that and figured it out, and you also shared it. So you're also letting you're sharing the tool with other people to be like, hey, girls, if you need to do this, this is how you do it.
If they're sending a picture,
check it.
Check.
You can tell if it's a screenshot, if it's from Snapchat. You can tell everything. You can tell if they threw it in the Face app. Like, you can tell everything. With taking so much time off from dating, I feel like I'm not constant. I mean, now I'm more so in a state of like, okay, is there a cute guy walking in the gym? Like, more so in a state of like just trying to be out there. But to take those rose-colored glasses off, I'm like,
and to put yourself out there is even harder.
It's like I'm not sitting and spiraling anymore. Like, okay, what did I do wrong? Yeah. Like, what's going on here? It's like I'm just so casual with it. I'm like, I mean, I've been alone for so long now. I've lived alone this entire time with my 2 crazy cats. So, like, a man comes my way, cool. He doesn't come my way, cool.
Yeah, I think that's what I've gotten jaded, but that's how I am. That's why I think I'm so cynical about dating now, and I kind of have this very weird view of it now. But it's almost like, it's like if it is what it is, you get to that point where it's like you're not even that. I don't overanalyze my texts anymore. I don't care if they don't text me back because I'm like, I know my worth now, but it's still like, this is not how it should be, I don't think. I don't feel as excited about it anymore.
It's harder to meet them in the wild now. I know how stupid that sounds. Like, everyone's
No,
on
it
a
is.
date. I remember in college, you'd go to the bar, and it's almost like everybody was so friendly to talk to each other. Like, someone would come up to you, they'd start a conversation with you, you'd see if you vibed, maybe go on a date.
Get their number.
Get their
Instagram.
Yeah, see how it goes. And then, like, now, you could be standing in the bar, and it's like, no... Nobody even sees you.
Yeah, there's a trend right now too on TikTok where it's like so funny. In the beginning of the TikTok, the friends are like, someone's like filming and they're like, how many people are you going to talk to tonight? How many numbers are you going to get? And they're so confident, like 10 million numbers, man, 5,000 numbers. And then they film them inside. It cuts to them in the bar and the guys are just standing there not talking to anyone.
How many girls you talking to tonight? 100! How many girls you talking to tonight? 100! How many girls you talking to tonight? 100! How many girls you talking to tonight? All of them. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really the reality though, because you get all dressed up and you're ready to go out and I'm like, I'm going to meet someone cute tonight. I'm making out with somebody tonight, or I'm going to get a number tonight, or whatever. And then you get there and no one talks to you. It's like, okay.
Waste of an outfit.
I'm like, I'm going back to my cat. Like, I'm done.
Not a single person.
Not a single person.
Minus my boyfriend who yelled at me at the bar. Nice. So first we didn't like each other. We were enemies.
Enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers. Very quick change because of the sports team that he likes. He always wore that same jacket anytime. And I remember specifically one time I was with Bree and everyone. We were out at the bar and we were leaving. And then literally he turns around and he sees me and I go, hi. He goes, not you again.
Because you bullied him.
I bullied him.
You were like, you wear that same jacket.
He bullied me right back too.
Yeah.
Which made it easier, I think, for us to get along. And then we had our awkward night at his apartment where we all went back and we were hanging out. And then everyone left and then it was just me and him. And I go, I'm just going to go. So I called like an Uber and I left. We did an awkward side hug and then left.
And now look at you.
The sparks were flying.
I know.
I can tell.
He has gone back and told me, he's like, I had so much anxiety of like talking to you and like trying to like talk to you to like hang out and all that, like just one-on-one. I was like, that's so kind of cute of you. And then he ended up giving me his number and then I texted him and he already had my number from a long time ago because we used to work at the same like lifeguarding company. And I guess like he was a supervisor in charge. Like I wanted some extra hours. So I was like texting him about work and he had no idea.
That's crazy.
I know.
There's like a theory about that. I've seen like, it's like invisible string theory. That's it. Where like the person that you're really supposed to be with has been like connected to you by an invisible string like for multiple years of your life. And I think that's
it really has.
Given that. Yeah.
Yeah,
because just like mind blow me.
Yeah, no, you should look it up. It's very. I'm all into those kind of like.
I'm gonna like analyze every guy in my life. Like,
well, and
which one?
Yeah.
Which one is my invisible string?
My marriage pact friend is in a really happy relationship, so we'll knock that one off.
Not the marriage pact friend. Oh no. Oh man, we all have one of those. Mine's married now, so.
So much for that.
I know. It wasn't me.
Mine's my marriage pact friend. We made the pact a while ago, and then he was like, okay, 35, if we're both still single at 35, we'll make it work. And I was like, perfect. It's obviously not going to work out though.
See, I thought my marriage pact friend and I said 37 and he was like, no, we said 27. It's like,
you're like, no, it's in your mid-30s when you're bored and alone and
like
everyone else has kids and you should be married to have kids, and it's like, all right, well, we'll just get married and we'll just have kids, so
yeah,
we can catch up.
But he's in a happy relationship, so go him. I'm
that
happy
one's
for
out.
him. I wish the best for him, but yeah, that one's out.
You'll find another one.
Yeah, or just find someone I don't have to make like a pact with. Could actually, that would be my goal. Someone I like actually vibe with. But I mean, if it's me and these cats for life, I'm pretty cool with it too.
Yeah, see, that's what I think. You get jaded from it all. It's just like, but you also become, I think, through being single and for a while, like I haven't been single for a year yet, but I'm getting there, and I just feel like even through these past few months of just working on myself, therapy, everything, it's like you just start to be okay with being by yourself and being with you, and like you create the person that you want to be that's awesome and fun, and you know, you don't need that other person to come in, but it would be great if they would. They should just be the cherry on top.
You.
Yeah.
Notice me.
They should be the cherry on top of your life. Your life is already a sundae, right? And they're just the cherry on top.
Yes.
They are not the whole sundae. You are the sundae. So.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nice way to put it.
Yeah. Like, you don't need someone to be all the extra, you know, that's already you. If you can build that in yourself, you're good. And then they just get to come and be the little cherry on top, and then you're happy with that. You're happy with your cherry, but you don't need it, because sundae is still great without it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's my little analogy.
Oh, I love that.
You had fantastic stories, and I hope it, you know, has some people thinking about dating and the patterns that they might be seeing in their dating life, you know, and how to navigate those.
And it sounds like Vegely needs to sponsor you at this point.
Maybe not.
They're going to hear this and be like, okay, so we're going to ban your account now.
Hashtag Vegely. Everyone who's a vegan or vegetarian out there, make sure you have an account if you're dating.
Oh, yeah. Now you need it.
We need more. Obviously, Danielle needs a bigger dating pool. So if you know any men out there that are vegan or vegetarian, tell them to get on Vegely, okay?
Yeah. Help this woman out.
Period.
Period.
But thank you again so much for being here today and sharing with us. Would you like to give them anywhere to follow you? Would you like to show, you know, your TikTok or anything like that?
Sure.
Share?
I'd love to share all my fun dating dramas on TikTok. I think that's what they are at this point. They're story times. They're fun. Come hang. You can find me on TikTok or Instagram at TheDanielleMullins.
Perfect. Everyone give her a follow. And we are just so grateful to have you. Anything you'd like to say to wrap us up, Heather?
I don't got nothing today.
Nope. Brain's empty.
My brain's empty. There's no more thoughts up in this noggin for today.
Well, you all can follow us at TooDeluluPod on Instagram and TikTok to keep up with us. And you will definitely be seeing more of us next week. We've got a bunch of fun episodes coming out for you guys throughout the month of April. And we are just so happy that you tagged along with us today. And thank you guys so much. At the end, we do a high five. Would you like to join us in our ending high five? Boom! If that's what she's here for.
I love that you said free range too, because that's how I eat my eggs.
That's how we like them, okay? Listen, I do farm
That'll make
fresh.
sense later.
Free range.
It'll make sense later.
I love eggs, guys, too. So.
Oh my god.
And we just love eggs here. And
okay.
Danielle, we get into Danielle's dating stories.